Second face that we want to talk about today is the warrior face. Of all the four faces, this one probably feels the most natural to most men. But don't run out and grab your sword just yet. You need to know what the warrior really looks like. This is the face that reflects courageous energy. It's characterized by initiative, protection, provision, and perseverance. You may remember from the last session that the first Adam couldn't seem to find his warrior face when his wife needed his protection. He just stood there, did nothing. It's the face that is primarily associated with initiative, but not just any kind of initiative. A true warrior takes the initiative for a purpose greater than themselves. The warrior is assertive, but that assertiveness is submitted to God, and he fights for the benefit of others. That's quite a contrast from the cowards and the critics that we talked about in session 2, who love to stand around criticizing others who are in the fight. The man who wears the warrior face is a man of action, and his actions flow out of his submission to God. This is the face that says, we can take this company global. We can tackle this problem in our marriage. We're not going to look for an easy exit. It's the face that says, I'm going to repay that debt regardless of what it takes. It's the face that says, I'm going to run that marathon, even at 50 years old or 40 pounds overweight, and then lays out a running plan and executes the plan and finishes. It's willing to sacrifice and struggle in order to accomplish something great, something meaningful. Something within most of us enjoys a good fight. That's the warrior face. It takes life head on. It works the hardest, the longest. It outlasts the competition. The warrior says, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to get this done. We're going to figure this out. The warrior rises above comfort and security to get the job done. He's most comfortable on battlefields. He's learned to master his emotions. He's not satisfied with mediocrity. He fights for a better life and for the betterment of others. It's the face that fights for what matters most. The warrior face is typically the most recognized and celebrated of all the four faces, especially among men. Whether it's in sports or business, it's the warrior who fights and claws and shows incredible initiative and endurance and tenacity. That kind of effort is recognized as extraordinary. The warrior face is also associated with purpose. A true warrior is constructive, not destructive. He fights, but he doesn't fight aimlessly or fight just for the sake of fighting. He doesn't stand in some random field and swing his sword wildly over his head. Warriors fight the noble fights. They're intentional. They fight for areas that matter most. The Apostle Paul knew that in 1 Corinthians 9. He said this, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable one. So I do not run aimlessly. I don't box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and I keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. Paul urges us to not only fight, but to fight with purpose. Not aimlessly, not for things that won't last, but with purpose, for the noble things and the eternal things.